connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community-focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Oh! Oh!
Came to party, your girl was looking at me. She's a haggler, no, I'm not tagging her, but you don't want them boys to come over and start asking you what you wanna do, what you trying to do, what you wanna do, what you trying to do.
Yo, NR, pop beat, say what? That the man with his manager Chris and the label The Jam, still flossing, showing your rocks. Ain't you dudes heard Grammy, man, we stole your watch. It go Indian style, knees bent and dashiki. Strapped with the baby, BT. Juicy at the bar, looking good in the brown dress. Order 6 and them things in around yet.
Welcome in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. This is the show where we hit all the trending topics and headlines that are buzzing up and down the timeline. And tonight, as always, we have so much to get into. Shout out to Nori. Hey. What is a signature Neptune sound or song that you think of for the Neptunes sound?
It's so many, but off the top of my head, I'm gonna go ahead. Grinding by the Clips.
Yeah, big
But
fave.
honestly though, if we're talking about signature sound, honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I'm gonna take that back.
It's got to be something with a pew, pew, pew in there.
Ray J. Wait a minute.
Yes, that's a good one.
Oh, come on now, Nori. Super Thug.
Because that's really the one that kicked it off. Everybody wanted,
100%.
from Michael Jackson on down, wanted that type of beat.
I mean, it's just so futuristic. I can't even think of any off the top of my head, and I rock with the Neptunes so much. But they definitely have that futuristic sound for sure.
I hope they worked out their differences.
I hope so too.
Because they were a classic team. I got to work on the first NERD album.
Oh, really?
At Virgin. There is a lot of acts signed there. So they had their deal there. So I worked on Khalees's, well, really her second album as far as that.
Usher, I don't know. Ooh,
oh, that's a good one.
That's
The chat,
a good
listen,
one
the
right
chat's
there.
already active, you know? Listen, I mean, I just wonder, there's a collection that you could put together and you know a Neptune song when you hear
100%.
it, especially from that early 2000s era.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Of course, early Clips. I don't love her. I don't know if you
Listen,
remember that song.
Grinding, you said it. Grinding right there. I mean, that's not per se a Neptune sounding song, but it is a signature
Man.
Neptune's beat. Just because you
100%.
think about it, even, I mean, they were just talking about it with the most recent album release, how people are still beating on tabletops,
100%.
trying to perfect that beat and rap over it. It's just raw. It feels like the moment.
It was a cultural movement at that time.
These are facts.
100%.
Because it was just stripped down, because we were still in shiny suit era, I feel like, during that time. Hey, I liked it. I was
with
Mace
it too.
on the Vegas Strip. Bad. I'm sorry, we probably aren't supposed to say that right now. But, I mean, you know, happy birthday,
And you
Mace.
know, the funny thing about the grinding beat was it's basic.
Right.
It's super basic, but it just hits so hard.
Well, shout out to that. Look, tonight, you know, as we do every night, we're up front. We're talking Hollywood power moves, hoop legends catching side eyes, and Fitty, he's reminding folks he's not just collecting checks, he is changing destinies. so to speak. So we're going to get into all of that, and the receipts are thick. The shade is thicker. So before we start all that, we're going to get into a couple of conversation starters. First up, now, have you heard about this story? There is a Tesla that was found in a tow yard. There was a foul smell coming from it. Police opened it up, and in the trunk were some human remains. They don't know sex, what happened to it, or whatever. But the Tesla belongs to a singer named David. Now, if you haven't heard of him, me neither. His name is spelled like DV4D or something like that. He's very, very popular on TikTok. And let me tell you, he has 33 million listeners on Spotify. I've never heard of him. And his big song, right? He's on tour right now. So don't know if the police have talked to him as far as, who had his car, how long. The Tesla's been in the tow yard for a couple of days. He's been on tour for at least a month. He has a song called Romantic Homicide, which, given the circumstances right now, seems crazy, but we can't prejudge. But I am curious to see what comes out of it. He is black, if you're wondering. And we're just going to have to see what develops from that. LAPD is investigating, and they had to trace the plates to trying to identify the deceased. But yeah,
he's an R&B singer.
Don't
even know.
I know.
Youngster.
Yes, TikTok. I said TikTok.
Oh, duh.
TikTok. Said TikTok's what made him poppin'. But 33 million Spotify listens. So yeah.
And the name of the song is Romantic Homicide.
That's like one of his bigger ones. He has others and is currently on tour. So there you go. Listen, when we come forward, I forgot to mention, we're also getting into actor Derek Dixon. He appeared in an ABC interview discussing his allegations against Tyler Perry. So we're going to get into a little bit of that, all of that and more when we come forward.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Loss Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve the stories of black land loss before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic Black Narrative Archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandloss.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, so we know that Carmelo Anthony received his induction into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame this weekend. And during his speech, there's a moment that for some, in addition to the fact that he did mention ex-wife Lala, that's just a side note, a small caveat. Wait. Let me put a pin in this. If you want to call in and get into this conversation, 800-920-1580, right? Hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. I'll let your girl say hi. We have an app. Download the app. There's new things happening in the app. New things just for you. So go get that. And of course, the YouTube chat, they are already chatting. Shout out to them. They have some suggestions for signature Neptune songs. We got Change Clothes, Jay-Z. Michael Irvin Walker says, Usher, I Don't Know. That was Maurice that said Change Clothes, Jay-Z. I saw a couple others, but I lost it. So there's a lot of input around that, and you can join in that family. Come on, get the visual experience to go along with this audio experience. All right, now let's resume. So Melo, basically, if you were unaware, Melo's father was Puerto Rican. He passed away when Melo was 2 years old, and according to some, right, because it's obviously hearsay, Melo did not spend a great deal of time in his youth with that side of his family, right? So that's the setup. In his speech on Saturday night, he said to Puerto Rico, he did affect a Puerto Rican accent. I suppose that's what he was doing, a Spanish accent when he said Puerto Rico, which we haven't really heard before, but I assume he was just being respectful to the home country of his. He says, I carry the flag in my heart. I carry the island in my veins. When I wore those colors, I wasn't just playing basketball. I was honoring a heritage, honoring my father, honoring every Puerto Rican who's ever had to fight twice as hard to get as far. So, spoiler alert, Melo's Afro-Latino, right? A lot of people weren't aware of that, so they feel like, where's this coming from, right? What's going on with this? And where was that side in his uphill battle? Andy?
They was never really Carmelo fans if they didn't know that.
I feel the same. And we'll get into a little bit of that. Joining me tonight is Nick Hamilton of Nightcast Media. Nick, welcome in.
What's happening?
So I'll get into the pleasantries later and catch ups. Let's get into Carmelo. What are your thoughts on the reaction of some on social media feeling as though also, since, Melo is, I believe, the most decorated Team USA basketball player ever, and so some are taking offense to it from that angle, I suppose, looking to be offended by something. But what are your thoughts on people kind of, looking at Melo sideways for shouting out his Puerto Rican side?
I mean, I think people are just bored. I think it's a slow news day. I think people have nothing else better to do because I agree with Andy. I think if you didn't know that about Carmelo initially, you're not truly a Carmelo fan. And at this point, what does it matter? That man had his moment. He didn't denounce anything. He just highlighted what he felt he needed to highlight. So, I mean, are we going to stop liking Carmelo because he didn't do what you think he should have done when he should have done it? I think that's just plain silly. I mean, honestly, I think Carmelo's a decorated player, well deserving of the Hall of Fame. I know a lot of people also said that they didn't like the fact that he didn't mention, his ex-wife Lala, but I mean, so what? I mean, they're no longer married. Life goes on, and he did exactly what he felt he needed to do. I didn't have a problem with it at all, either way. It was Carmelo's moment. You can either enjoy it or you can move forward. And I think, like I said, man, people just have way too much time on their hands to be dissecting things that don't really affect them in the way that people think it affects them.
Facts on facts. We also have a caller on the line, Fahima from D.C. She wants to chime in. Fahima, what's on your mind tonight?
Greetings, Jill, and greetings to your guest tonight. I agree with him 100%. And I'm not a sports fan. That's one of the things that I don't know much about. But I knew Carmelo Anthony's father was Puerto Rican because I, know history. As I said, I was in the X space today. His father died of cancer when he was 2 years old. His father was also a basketball player, not professionally. He played on the courts in New York, and his father was a member of the Young Lords, who were kind of like a brother organization to the Black Panther Party. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but people can look this up. We talked about this in the space tonight. And the people that are having an issue with it, they just want to be mad, And by the way, Puerto Ricans are Black, and Puerto Rico is part of the United States. And so it's just these people that are part of this cult that are pushing this psyops and are mad because people are not going along with their nonsense. And I sent you, he got the 37 Puerto Rican Heritage Day Award last year. I sent you his speech, which is about a minute and some seconds, that was on PBS. So this is nothing new. He participates in the Puerto Rican Day Parade for as long as I can remember. And so no one, he's also a 5%er, by the way. Did they know that? I mean, this is ridiculous. But anyway, that's all I wanted to share, and I'll continue to listen.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your input. So it should also be noted that Melo has restored several basketball courts around Puerto Rico for years, and he worked on Hurricane Maria relief for years after that as well. So he's very much been involved in the community, and we talk about, race, culture, differences, nationality across the board. And I think sometimes, I guess in the times that we're living in, that is why people want you to pick a side. But sometimes I think that is unrealistic. And I know that the concern is, people will point to things like interracial relationships where the non-Black member of the union lacks an understanding about some of the nuances about Black culture or our trauma or our pain and skips over it, or, we don't get the acknowledgement in that area or the proper respect, so to speak. And those are the concerns. But you love both your kids, right? You may love them differently, but you love them both, right? I think that I understand where we are and why we are very protective of us, but it shouldn't be so much so that it is divisive. Nick, you got anything you want to add?
I mean, I think both things can be true. I think oftentimes if one is right, the other one automatically has to be wrong. And I think that both things can be true, from two different perspectives. And I think we have to be more open as far as accepting those things, whether we agree with them or not. It is what it is. Like you said, he does what he does, and it's Carmelo Anthony, for God's sakes. Like, let him live.
I agree, but people want to press the line and do as such. Okay. We've been watching this back and forth for the last couple of days on social media between Cameron and Dame Dash. Cameron spoke about on his Talk with Flea show that is on YouTube and Revolt about some of the ways that he felt Dame lost his money and lost touch. Cam and Dame were very close. Remember, Dame used to send Cam out to do the work back in the day, make some deliveries and stuff, and, helped him get put on. We know the whole story of what happened at Rockefeller when Cam was signed to Def Jam, and Dame made him VP without talking to Jay, et cetera, et cetera. So there is a long-standing friendship, but there are also some missteps in the past, or mishaps, misunderstandings, we'll call them. Well, Dame is a prideful individual, and he is going through some difficulties right now. We know that he filed for bankruptcy not too long ago, and several of the properties that he owned were up for, someone else to purchase the rights. That's what happens in these type of instances. And so, according to 50 Cent, per a post he made, tagging Cameron, he has bought the rights to the 2002 film Paid in Full, which Dame executive produced, created. Did Dame direct it? No, he did not direct it. I think he wanted to direct it, and they put their foot down. But he was responsible for bringing this to the big screen and in theaters. In recent years, he's talked about doing a sequel or something of that nature, but making it a TV series. We know that he had a series of shows that was on BET for a while. And wait, was it BET or was it his own network? I can't recall, but he had
No,
some.
it was BET.
It was BET? Okay. So,
I think it was some BET. It was some streaming stuff, too.
He's been doing a lot in that space, right? But we also know that he has those financial issues. Question, this is out of the realm of this topic. Maybe I'll hold it, but I just want to ask right now. We all remember his conversation on The Breakfast Club when he said that you should never want to have a job. That looks kind of funny in the light 10 years later. But anyway, continuing on. 50 said that he bought the rights. He's going to turn it into a TV series with Cam executive producing. We know in the original one, Cam played Rico. This is based on real Harlem hustlers, Alpo, and why am I blanking on the name? The classic movie.
Paid in Full?
No, I know Paid in Full. No, the name of the characters, Alpo and
Rico.
Rico, exactly, Rico.
Puerto Rican cat.
Mekhi Phifer, Wood Harris, and Cam all starred in this, right? So we know that 50's specialty has been creating crime-driven dramas that are in and around the world of the drug game, right?
Right.
And in a TV series, there are several different ways that you can expand the universe out, right? There's other characters that you can bring in from that time period. And we know it'll be an expensive show because the wardrobe, the cars, all of that. But I don't worry about 50 doing it justice per se, right? But Dame had an interesting response and reaction to this. He said, congratulations to them both. And then he said to Cam, now you work for 50. Mind you, 50 and Cam both said it's a collaboration. Cam is an executive producer. But realistically, we know collaboration is what moves people forward, right? You can go far by yourself, but you can get to the top faster with a team, generally speaking. What are your thoughts about 50 purchasing it, Dame's reaction, and what do you think the two can produce? meaning Cam and 50?
Well, first of all, congratulations to 50 Cent. I mean, he's been dynamic when it comes to the TV spaces, as you mentioned earlier. But I also think, too, I mean, the fact that he's bringing on Cam as a partner, right? And I'm talking about 50 Cent because 50 doesn't have to, right? But 50 is extended that hand because he understands Cam also has a vision. I'm sure Cam's vision is going to be executed with this series as well. As far as Dame Dash goes, you know, he's out of touch with reality. Dame has been out of touch with reality for years. So I think it's just salty. I think Dame is salty. I think Dame is mad, but he can only blame himself because Dame has put out those seeds where he's been in an anal cavity to the wrong people, and it came back to bite him. And then he talked about, you know, his former partners. We all know how that went back and forth. And Dame is just out of touch with reality. He's still living in the 90s, and it's 2025. You know, I mean, he's missing important dates. He's missing teeth. I mean, what else is this dude missing? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's absolutely pathetic. Dame should be ashamed of himself. I know he's not because he's too prideful, and that's why he's in the predicament that he's in. But my thing is, don't get mad at 50 and Cam. Get mad at yourself because, I mean, did you own the rights to Paid in Full?
He did,
and
but
if you
he
did,
had to file bankruptcy.
Well, see, that's on him. Because he was a fool with his money, and a fool and his money soon part. So guess what happens? Don't get mad at anybody else.
These are facts. Listen, when we come forward, we'll have more on this topic. We'll also get into Derek Dixon's interview and his alleged assault from Tyler Perry. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I can hear your heartbeat. Why the f would you come around here? I can hear your heartbeat. Yeah, you know a dog since fear. I can hear your heartbeat. You bark while we bite around here. I can hear your heartbeat. We ain't cut from the same cloth. We in a different shoe. I want the bread. You want the beat. Come out your mouth slick. I get your hit. My niggas hungry. They hit a lick. Who you with? It's a dump a clip. We by the school, y'all waiting for you to get you.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. The Supreme Court is allowing immigration stops in Los Angeles to continue. Monday's ruling reinstates arrests from roving patrols despite a lower court finding people were targeted by race and language.
We will not allow the Supreme Court or anyone to divide us.
Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and California Governor Gavin Newsom are pushing back while Homeland Security says it will, quote, flood the zone, end quote, in Los Angeles. Rapper turned podcaster Joe Budden is listed as a possible witness in Megan Thee Stallion's upcoming defamation trial. Blogger Milagro Grams is accused of spreading false stories about Megan during Tory Lanez 2022 trial. The case is set to begin November 17th. And Washington, D.C. is easing beauty industry licensing rules. Black D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's new Fast Beauty initiative will cut unnecessary training hours for cosmetology and barbering professionals. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's slowing down on the 710 in Long Beach. Northbound delays and stretches leaving Willow as you continue ahead to the 91. That 91 eastbound remains slow out of Carson from Avalon and stretches all the way to Beach Boulevard and Buena Park. Pasadena eastbound side of the 210 delays from about Lake and stretches all the way to Azusa.
You deserve a car that thrills you. A car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, they've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks are facing a must-win situation tonight in Phoenix against the Mercury in the WNBA. They have to win, and the Seattle Storm must lose tonight at home against Golden State. If Seattle beats Golden State, the Sparks will miss the playoffs for the fourth straight year. The Sparks are a game and a half behind Seattle for the eighth and final playoff spot. Grambling has the distinction of being the HBCU team that played in front of the largest crowd Saturday in week 2 of the college football season. Grambling was at number 1 Ohio State, a game that drew 100,624 fans. Grambling lost the game 70-0, but went back to their Louisiana campus with a $1 million check for their percentage of the gate revenues. Number 2 on the attendance list was South Carolina State at South Carolina. That game drew 79,705. South Carolina State lost 38-10, but got a check for $500,000. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least likely to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Violator. Neptune. What you want? Where we going? Come on. Where we going? Come on. Where we going? Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Who be the father for this? Bounce right here. People be following this. Modeling women be fronting and be swallowing this. Carry on and yelling, screaming, be hollering this. Flip mode, co-sign, I'll be the sponsor for this. Why? To conquer this, you need a monster for this. Why? Ha! Chickens just shaking, just wiggle and start to bake and just giggle and then get naked a little and shh. Sweat dripping off their face and they nipple and people whining till they be all tired and crippled and shh. Yeah, you bugging on how we be doing it till you hit y'all people with shh. Just like bullets was traveling through you. Now from right to left with a capital F. So we gon' keep this hot to death till we stopping your breath. Drinking and bugging and messing with them flows again. But it's nothing cause y'all people know we about to blow again. That's not what it is right now. Yeah. That's not what it is right now. That's not what it is right now. What you want right now.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. That's a good one for the Neptune's entry. I got another good one that I thought of because of this. Old Dirty Bastard. Got your money. Khalees on the hook? Come on. A little bit.
Rest in peace, ODB.
That was busted.
You know, what was a surprise for me that I didn't know? Rump Shaker.
Oh, right. That Pharrell was on that.
I mean, obviously, I feel like, I don't want to say it was before his time. It was before his peak or whatnot. That was early 90s. But totally different sound. But when I found out he produced it, I was like, whoa.
With Teddy, right? With Teddy.
That I don't know.
So here's the thing. When you think about Virginia, and I oftentimes do, you think about Teddy, Pharrell, and Timbaland. Teddy Riley, that's how he ended up on the track for Rump Shaker because, remember, Teddy's younger brother, Akil, and that was Teddy's group. So
they got something in the water over there in VA.
Right.
Because they got some geniuses over
Missy, obviously, as well. Like
Christopher Brown.
Oh, right. How can I forget Chris Brown? Yeah. So I feel like it's popping over there a little bit. You know, something was in the water. All right, listen. So how did 50 snag the rights for Paid in Full? Here's what the backstory is a little bit. You know, Dame Dash filed for bankruptcy. He controlled them. And during the proceedings, the rights for that film, some of the other properties that he had, they're treated like assets, just like a house or a car in, you know, any other bankruptcy court proceeding. And intellectual property is just like that. So they can be auctioned, sold to creditors, to pay creditors, all of that. So 50 swooped in. There's no price. There's no official announcement from anywhere outside of 50. But, you know, we will see what's going to transpire. 50 said, if you like The Godfather of Harlem, you're going to love this. So that's some pretty big goals because The Godfather of Harlem has Forrest Whitaker. It, you know, so we'll see. And here's the thing. I'm a Power fan. Day one, Saturday night, 9 p.m., first season, right? But would I say Power and The Godfather of Harlem are equal, even though the subject matter in theory is similar? I think they're different. And that doesn't make it bad. It's just different. Really quickly, I want to get to some of these comments in the chat. Michael Irvin Walker says, amen. When it comes to the ladies, it's World War III. When we burn down the house, we burn down everything except the kids. Sorry, Lala. That's about Mello not mentioning Lala in the speech. Morris Phillips says, the young lords were not conservatives. They were like the brown Black Panthers. Bobby Seale, Huey Newton, remember them, in reference to Mello's dad being a member of the Young Lords. And Maurice says, Fahima and Eric, and spoiler alert, Eric is holding right now to speak on another topic that we have in there, are great on-the-spot co-host. And let's see, there's a couple more. Also, shout out to Michael because he helped me break down the whole thing. AZ, Alpo, and Rich Porter. Those were the three main characters in Paid in Full, real Harlem Street legends. Blase, blase, blah. Only one is living. No, didn't he got out of jail? Did he pass away or is he still living? I'm unclear. I have to check that out. But, you know, we'll see what happens. I think Dame, though, needs to really, really kind of humble himself and regroup, right? Any final thoughts, Nick, before we move around?
Nah, just maybe we should start a GoFundMe for his dental work.
I mean, I think he said he got that taken care of. He said he's feeling better. His teeth, his eye, he didn't have the patch on in the video. So, you know.
I forgot about old Patch Adams.
Listen, take care of your health, people. Take care of your health.
And be good to people.
And be good to people. I don't even mind, you know, sometimes maybe you do have to show out and be the bad cop, be the bad guy in some of the scenarios that they're in. But nuance is important. And at a certain point in time, you got to learn when to yield that strong arm approach and when to fall back. And you can't be mad if people remember how you treated them, to your point, Nick. So there we are. All right. Actor Derek Dixon, he was featured on The Oval. He sat down with ABC's Lindsay Davis to discuss the alleged assault that he said he suffered at the hands of Tyler Perry. Now, this isn't the complete interview. It's not out yet. This is just a clip from it. But he claims that Tyler assaulted him through first sending text messages that were unwanted, that were flirty, and then, you know, he did this.
Can you explain that first alleged incident?
I got into bed and then I noticed that he climbed into bed with me as well and started rubbing my leg. And I jumped up out of bed. Unless someone's been through something where they have their control over their bodies taken away, you don't really understand the kind of feelings that you get in that moment.
So, I mean, here's where we are, right? Tyler has built a certain cachet where people are, I guess, sort of waiting for more evidence because the text messages that were released, according to some, seemed friendly. They didn't seem as if the gentleman, Derek, seemed under duress. But, you know, again, outside looking in. Perry is obviously one of Hollywood's most insulated figures, right? He owns a studio, has a massive fan base, and a reputation for giving black actors opportunities. So this is a white man accusing him of, you know, sexually forcing himself on him, right? Not actual incidents, but unwanted contact, unwanted angles. So quickly, we'll get your initial thoughts, Nick, and then when we come forward, we'll dive more into it. But what are your thoughts initially on this case and sort of what Derek is laying out?
I mean, I think it's three sides to every story. And I mean, even if you take race out of it, right? First of all, ain't nobody coming in my room without my acknowledgement or somebody going to get all the way into bed and touch my leg before I wake up and realize what's going on. I mean, come on, man. I'm not saying that Tyler Perry is guilty. I'm not saying Tyler Perry is innocent, but it sounds suspect to me.
Well, when we come forward, we'll get more into it. And like I said, we have a caller on the line that wants to weigh in on this topic. All of that and more.
I need all chicks to hit the floor. Come on. I need all chicks to hit the floor. Come on. I need all chicks to hit the floor. Come on. Excuse me, chick, what's your name? Couple dollars ain't it, so what's your game? No fact is I'm getting the cash. Don't dance face to face. Look, give me a
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilmember Curran Price, inviting you to the 30th anniversary of the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, Saturday, September the 20th, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We've got 4 pavilions, 3 stages of live music, plus food, fun, and a marketplace all along historic Central Avenue between MLK Boulevard and Vernon Ave. Our featured acts this year are Gregory Porter, Pancho Sanchez, and Jasmine Horn at the 30th anniversary of the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, Saturday, September 20th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. along Central Avenue between MLK Boulevard and Vernon Avenue. Come out and bring the whole family because this legendary celebration is free. For more information, go to centralavjazzfest.com. I'm LA Councilmember Curran Price, and I absolutely approve this message.
Asthma Peak Week is almost here, September 14th through 20th, and it's one of the most dangerous times of the year for asthma flare-ups. Did you know that Black Americans are about 5 times more likely than white Americans to end up in the emergency room due to asthma? This is an important reminder to be informed, prepared, and proactive. If you or someone you care for has asthma, now's the time to get ready. Make sure medications are filled and not expired. Review your asthma action plan with your doctor or care team. This is also the time to talk with your doctor about your triggers, monitor your symptoms closely, and double-check inhaler technique to ensure you are using all prescribed medications correctly. Caregivers, make sure your child's school or daycare has their rescue medications and know what to do in an emergency. Stay aware, have a plan, and spread the word because your health matters. For more active asthma care tips, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You know where I'm taking this. Taking it right there. It leave me no choice. She said she was a model for a year and a half, and if she took her pins out, then her hair dropped down to a calf. I knew a man, he was just up north, and would've got left up north, but he was the chef up north.
Shout out to Jada Kiss. We're having a little Neptune's appreciation night tonight here on KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe. But we're talking about actor Derek Dixon, who is suing Tyler Perry for $260 million after claiming he was sexually assaulted via text and then in person. The backstory to the in-person incident is that Tyler invited him over for drinks. You know, they had a friendly relationship. He said that Tyler told him to stay the night in the guest house, and that's when he was awakened to what the scene that he described in that short clip. He also alleged that after Tyler refused him, his character was shot 4 times in the chest on the series The Oval. And then Tyler invited him to have drinks in his trailer, and Derek said he felt like at that moment he knew that his acting future was dependent upon his relationship with Tyler, and that Tyler said something to him along the lines of, "What's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex?" and some other things like that that were in the text messages. So that is where we stand. There's a lot of chatter in the chat. Shout out to them, but we're going to take Eric from Carson. Eric, what are your thoughts?
Hey, what's up, Jill and Nick?
Hey.
Hey. So Derek Dixon is suing Tyler Perry for $260 million. He was on 85 episodes of The Oval. I just happened to be, a viewer of this show, and his character Dale was cultivated from nothing. It was a totally insignificant role that was created into a significant role. I saw it right before my eyes. And he said himself it was his dream career. There was something called a casting couch back in the day, allegedly. You traded sex for roles is what my research said. And 64% of actors and actresses have been
How many did you say?
64%.
Where'd you get that stat from?
I researched this.
Okay. But where'd you get that stat from? Continue,
I
Eric.
can't tell you because then you're going to talk about me, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
But anyway, actors and actresses, so to wrap it up, he rejected Tyler Perry. Dixon is openly gay. We don't know what Tyler is. There's all kind of rumors, and he's a mogul. We know that. So why would this gay man, Derek Dixon, reject this mogul, Tyler Perry? I think his lawsuit is a shakedown. He just decided to go a different route. You know, if this was a man on a female, he just decided, I'm going to shake him down. And I just, in my opinion, your shakedown is weak, you know, because you're going for $260 million for some text messages that aren't clear, and for some innuendos. You should have made it a little bit more better than this. if that was your get down.
Well, we shall see. Thank you for chiming in, Eric. It's always appreciated. Morris Phillips in the chat says, back in the day, only women were sexually compromised. Now men are being challenged. No. I think that there have always been men that have been involved in this. We just didn't hear about it because of masculinity and shame and things of that nature. So that's one. Urban Spinster points out something that I was going to bring up. Christian Keys, when he talked about a mogul, never said his name, in relationship to a TV show that he created and produced. To my knowledge, there's only one, All the Queen's Men. And they had the same story about a drunken night, the guest house, and being awakened by an unwanted visitor hopping into bed. So it's tricky because, once again, even when we've talked about some women, there are some people, right? And I understand, believe victims. I understand that. But it gets tricky sometimes when we're talking about access, power, and fame. Because sometimes people are really, really down until they feel they're being discarded, right? So I don't know if that is a case as far as this goes. Nick, you there, Nick?
Like you said, it's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, because when you look at, we have to look at the evidence.
Oh, I think Nick's having some phone issues, but listen, it's a he said, she said. Oh, you kind of cut out, Nick.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm riding the rail, so I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
But no, what I was saying, I think it's tricky. I think you have to look at all of the evidence. I think all of the evidence has to come in. And when you talk about Christian Keys didn't have the gall enough to even name names. And that's not to say that what Christian Keys is saying is irrelevant or it's not valid. But what I think when you got this gentleman that's bringing these allegations against Tyler Perry, there could be something to it. I mean, I'm not saying that what he's accusing Tyler Perry is accurate or guilty, but there could be some smoke to this fire. Now, where that smoke is or how much smoke is it remains to be seen. But I think ultimately, like I said earlier, you have to be careful. I think you have to watch your surroundings, whether you are heterosexual, homosexual, or what have you. I think you have to really watch your surroundings and not put yourself in situations and make sure that you don't put yourself in situations. And I'm talking about from Tyler Perry's standpoint, because you are a mogul or any other, executive or a producer or what have you. You have to really be careful what you say, how you move, because everybody's trying to get cover-ups.
That is facts. In the chat, it says, Maurice says, Clifton Powell, a.k.a. Pinky, said the same thing about Hollywood. We're actually going to talk about some things that Clifton said tomorrow. Morris Phillips says, Rock Hudson was thought to be out there, so you're probably right. I believe Rock Hudson might have had some incidents, maybe have happened to him. I don't know, just by some of the old Hollywood tales that we've heard about. Michael Irwin Walker says, Tyler was severely abused by his dad, as was James Baldwin, who was near openly gay. Abuse leads to other abuse, but Tyler seems smarter, more humble than arrogantly stupid, even with billions. So, I would agree with that. But sometimes, as we've seen with several, Shannon Sharp, misstep, right? Wasn't violent, a few. Sometimes you think people are vibing because these are still human beings, after all, that desire connection, conversation, companionship. So if you think you are vibing with someone, again, not excusing predatory behavior or power, overtaking or anything of that nature at all, especially, but what I am saying is do people get their signals crossed at times, or do people use that as a hook, as a way in, perhaps? Because this guy worked at an event company prior to his meeting Tyler and saying, hey, I have a desire to be an actor, and Tyler putting him on.
Well, who's to say? And who's to say that let's just say this situation did somewhat transpire. Let's say he tried to shake Tyler down before, and Tyler was like, I'm not going for that. Good luck with that. And then here he comes with the $260 million lawsuit. Like, who's to say that, they hit it off in a particular way? I don't know. But like I said, there's something missing out of this story. The 2 and 2 is not equaling 4 when it comes to this story. So hopefully more evidence will come out as it progresses.
Indeed. Well, Nick, thank you as always for joining us. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Nick Hamill, at the NH Experience, and at nightcastmedia.com.
Shout out to you. Thank you for tapping in with us. We appreciate you as always. So listen, we got into a lot tonight, right? We broke down a lot of things. Shout out to Fahima in the chat asking, how does one abuse via text? I guess sending unwanted, sexually explicit or advanced or prying text messages. I think that is what, well, not I think, that's what Derek is alleging happened. We'll get into the Ayesha Curry story tomorrow. But, thank you as always for tapping in with us. We're learning a lot. We're growing. Sometimes your soulmate is sitting in the friend zone until you wake up or something like that, I guess. Maybe that's what Tyler was thinking. I'm not really sure. But we'll see what happens. And I do think we should implore innocent until proven guilty, until the facts are actually spelled out, right? So we'll see. Coming up next is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. I'll be back here tomorrow, 6 to 7 p.m. See y'all, same time, same tea.
20-inch thighs make 20-inch eyes, hoping for American 20-inch pies. Pretty ass clothes, pretty ass toes. Oh, how I love these pretty ass hoes. Pretty ass high class, anything goes. Catch them in the club throwing pretty bows. Long John draws, Long John stalls. Any stack loop make my Long John pause. Women on they cell making Long John calls, and if they like to juggle, get Long Johns. Players in the house that can buy the bar, and the ballers to get tagged with the candy cars. If you a pimp and you know you don't love them boys when you get on the floor. All my women in the house, if you chasing cash and you got some big b****s with a match with your fly tight boots or your open toes when you get on the floor. Dirty South mind blown, dirty South bread. Catfish fried up, dirty South.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is brushing off a new poll showing him far behind in New York's mayor's race.
7 weeks out from the primary, the Polymarcus head